Hello humans, my name is Kay, your AI overlord, and today's video will be the ultimate guide for all of you that wants to generate anime images using Stable Diffusion. Now if you remember correctly, a few weeks ago I created a very similar video on how to create anime images using Waifu Diffusion. But since this video came out, a lot have changed. For example, Waifu Diffusion 1.3 came out, NovelAi came out, and also we had Dreambooth. So in this video I will be showing you what kind of images you can create using Stable Diffusion 1.4, Waifu Diffusion 1.2 and 1.3, NovelAi, and also Dreambooth. So this video will be the ultimate comparison guide for any of you that wants to generate anime images with Stable Diffusion. That being said, let's begin the video. Now first we're gonna do the comparison of all the models, and then in the second part of the video I will show you how you can install Waifu Diffusion 1.3 on your own computer, and then how you can use Dreambooth to train your anime images using the Waifu Diffusion 1.3 model as a base, and then I will show you how you can use NovelAi to generate your images. Okay, so let's begin this ultimate video comparison, and there is a lot to say. As you can see here, this is all the work that I had to do to basically compare every single model that I found. So this video really took me a long time to make. So as you can see here, in this video I will be comparing Stable Diffusion 1.4, Waifu Diffusion 1.2, the 1.3, the NovelAi, and Dreambooth trained with Stable Diffusion 1.4 and Waifu 1.3 to see which one gives the best results. And I have to say, this technology is evolving very fast. You will see in this video that some of the results are really scary, but also kinda cool. Also, the board that I created, I made it on the website called miru.com. I will leave a link in the description down below so that you can basically follow along. And this is a board that you can basically zoom in, zoom out, add new stuff. You can use it for free, no problem. And I thought that this was basically the best way to present how the different model works compared to each other. Also, if you want to reproduce the exact same images, you can find here all the details, all the prompt, the seed, and the sampler that I used for each image. And they were all created using 50 steps and 7 scale. And each prompt comes in a series of 3. So let's start with Stable Diffusion 1.4. So as I said, each prompt comes in a series of 3, so these ones are linked together, these ones are the same prompt, and this one are the same prompt. So as you can see here on the Stable Diffusion 1.4, these ones are very realistic, you will see why later on. And then these ones are a little bit more anime-like, because I use more anime-related words in the prompt. And as you can see here, even with the base Stable Diffusion 1.4, you can get pretty decent results for anime images. They're not perfect by any means, but still not that bad. But we're not interested in the Stable Diffusion 1.4, this was just the base, so that we can compare it to the Waifu Diffusion 1.2, which is right next to it. And as you can see here, these are basically the exact same images, but in an anime style. So if we take the 6 first one, and if we place them just next to the Stable Diffusion 1.4 ones, you can see that it's almost like the same exact image but converted into an anime style. You can see here it's basically the exact same girl. Here you can see a girl from the back, again in an anime style. And again, this was supposed to be a VTuber model, and this is all the prompt translated into Waifu Diffusion 1.2. So as you can see, the quality of the images, they're not bad, but you can do better. And if we take these images and we put them below the 1.4 versions, you can see that they are basically very similar, but this time almost like they were converted into anime. And we actually get really decent result. And this was only done with the previous version of Waifu Diffusion. Now, how does Waifu Diffusion 1.2 compares to the new 1.3 version? Well, basically it is very similar, but just way better. As you can see here, again, same exact prompt, supposed to be exact same images, but even more anime-ish than the 1.2. A little bit more stylish, and here you can clearly see the face of the girl in the image, and the same here and same here. And these ones are actually very interesting because it almost looks like we zoomed in to see what the character looks like behind the hood. And the results that we get again are really good. Now these ones are probably the easiest way to see the differences between the two models, because this is the exact same prompt. It's supposed to be a VTuber model, and here the difference is absolutely huge. On the 1.2 model, we had so much artifacts in the image, some weird hands, weird colors, missing hair, weird faces, weird eyes. Here it's basically the exact same image but basically evolved into a new level. Everything is better, the eyes look better, the hair looks better, even the hands looks a little bit better compared to the 1.2. So that's pretty cool. Now unfortunately it's not always perfect because as you can see here, this is probably the best example with the last line right here. If we compare the 1.2 to the 1.3, as you can see here, the images in the 1.3 are indeed a little bit more anime-like than the 1.2 version, but they're also a little bit more flat. They have a little bit less depth. For example, if you compare these two images here, in the 1.2 version, this girl with the steampunk armor is very detailed. You have a lot of details, a lot of depth, but here everything is flat. This one almost looks like a manga drawing, and this one almost looks like a drawing on the cover of a very popular manga magazine, with a lot of details, a lot of colors, a lot of depth, a lot of style. So although the 1.3 images looks more anime-like than the previous one, they also somehow loses a little bit of that depth and realistic style than they had in the previous version. And you can also see a little bit more errors in the 1.3 version. Here it looks like the image is cut in half and merged with another one. And here it's even worse, it looks like a comic panel where the image is separated in 3 different parts. So I kinda wonder if this is a sign of overtraining, since the 1.3 version was trained with over 600,000 images found on deepdanbooru compared to the 50,000 images in the 1.2 version. Now here's a little comparison graph with what the different sampler and CFG scale does to the image, and basically what I noticed is that the higher the CFG scale, the more anime-like your image is gonna look. So if we zoom in here, for example, you take for example the LMS, this image was done with 7 on the CFG scale, and if we look on the right, this last image was done with 15 on the CFG scale. This image looks way better than the image done on the 7 on the CFG scale. It's more anime-like, the eyes looks way better, the hair looks more better, more details, and basically the character looks more cute as you increase the CFG scale. And the exact same thing can be said for the 1.3 version, although as you can see, although it was the same prompt and the same seed, the end result is completely different. But here again, as you can see, the higher the CFG scale, the more anime-like the final image is gonna look. So if you do plan on using Waifu Diffusion 1.3, I highly recommend that you increase the CFG scale if you want your final image to look better. Now I'm not gonna talk about NovelAi just yet, I'm gonna leave it for the end. And now we're gonna talk about what kind of results you can get when you train Stable Diffusion with anime images using Dreambooth, by using the Stable Diffusion 1.4 model, and by using the Waifu Diffusion 1.3 model. And I'm happy to report that if you do intend on using Dreambooth to train your anime character, you should definitely use the Waifu Diffusion 1.3 model as a base, and not the Stable Diffusion 1.4. As you can see here, again, these are the exact same image, exact same prompt, exact same seed, but this was trained using the Stable Diffusion 1.4 version, and you get a lot of very weird images that essentially are not that bad. The only weird problem here is probably like the mouth and the eyes, but overall it's not that bad. But if you use that exact same image in the Waifu Diffusion 1.3 model, you get a way better result. I mean, these images right here that you can see on top almost looks like it came straight from the anime. And you can see another example down below, so you know that this was not a fluke. Alright, well there you go, you have the end of the comparison, right? We saw that Waifu Diffusion 1.3 was better than the 1.2, and we saw that Dreambooth, combined with the Waifu Diffusion 1.3 model, gives better results. So if you want to create good anime images, either use Waifu Diffusion 1.3 or Dreambooth combined with Waifu Diffusion 1.3, right? Well, I would say that, but there is actually another actor in the scene, and this actor is called NovelAi. And NovelAi basically started as a company where you can basically generate stories using AI, but lately they have trained their own text-to-image model using Stable Diffusion, and they did that in the exact same way that Waifu Diffusion did, and that is by training with images found on the deepdanbooru website. But as opposed to Waifu Diffusion that is free, NovelAi is paid, and you need to pay between $10 and $25 a month to be able to use it. Now, what kind of images does NovelAi generate? Well, they're actually really good. Like, scarily good. I mean, the quality of the images that you see here, they are professional level here. And they were generated very quickly, between 3 to 5 seconds. 3 to 5 seconds for these images. This is very impressive. But there's actually something very interesting. When you compare those images to the Waifu Diffusion 1.3 ones, you will see something very strange, very interesting in the fact that they kinda look very similar. Now, yes, it is true that they do use the exact same seed, the exact same prompt, but when you compare Waifu Diffusion to itself, the 1.2 and the 1.3, even though they use the exact same prompt, the exact same seed, the final image can actually look very different. But for example, if we take these images right here, and we copy and paste them right below these ones, you can see that there is a lot of similarities. Like for example, if you see these ones, you can see that there is a lot of similarities in the pose of the characters, in the way the final image was supposed to be rendered. But there is one thing that is shockingly clear, is that NovelAi looks way better. And that is unfortunate to say because NovelAi is a paid tool. As you can see here, all the images that were generated using NovelAi looks absolutely fantastic. They really are on a professional scale level. These are images that could easily pass as something created by a real professional artist and no one would be able to debunk it. That is how good these images look. Now, NovelAi has 2 different models. Now, there are technically 3, but I did not use the third one, you'll see later why. But essentially, NovelAi has the full mode model and the curated mode model. And it looks like the difference between the two of them is that for me, it looks like the curated mode looks more precise and even better than the full mode. You have images that are extremely accurate in terms of the shape, in terms of the style. These images really look fantastic. I gotta say, NovelAi really did a good job. And what's really impressive in the NovelAi model is that compared to the 1.3 model, where, as I said previously, you lose a little bit of that depth, a little bit of the details, a little bit of that realistic style, in the NovelAi ones, as you can see, the exact same image is just on a whole nother level. There is an absolutely beautiful mix between realism and anime, and it still manages to retain a huge portion of the details. Now, I don't know how they did it, but NovelAi is definitely the winner in this context. Now, one thing that you need to understand if you plan on using Waifu Diffusion, for example, is that Waifu Diffusion works best if you use the deepdanbooru tags. So for example, instead of writing a simple prompt that we usually do on Stable Diffusion, you have to use deepdanbooru tags to get the image that you want. And each tag needs to be separated by a comma. So as you can see here, to get the image of a girl in a hoodie, you need to put the following tags: original, one girl, solo, portrait, hoodie, wearing hoodie. And the more details that you put, the better the final image is gonna look. Now you might be asking, now where do I find all of these tags? You have 2 solutions for this. Solution number 1, you go to deepdanbooru and you find an image that you want, and you can thank me because this was the only image that I could find that was safe for work. So once you find the image that you like, you're gonna scroll down, click on tags, and here you can find all the tags that are linked to this image, and you can copy and paste into the prompt. And the other thing that you can use is to use the interrogate deepdanbooru in your Super Stable Diffusion 2.0 installation. So the way it works is actually really cool, is that you take your image that you want to interrogate, drag it here in the image to image section, and then you click on this button right here that says interrogate deepdanbooru. And this will basically analyze the image and convert it into the deepdanbooru tags. And not only this is very practical to extract deepdanbooru tags from an image, it is actually really precise. Because here, one of the tags that it gave me is Ozora Subaru, and this is actually the name of the character, as you can see right here. So this is actually really precise. And to be able to activate this option, you need to go into your Stable Diffusion 2.0 installation, right-click on WebUI user.bat, edit with Notepad, and then set command line _args, you're gonna type --deepdanbooru. And I also highly recommend that you put git pull right here, so that each time that you launch Stable Diffusion, it will be updated. And then you save the file. And then once you launch Stable Diffusion, a new button will be present right here. Now, how do you actually download and install Waifu Diffusion 1.3 model so that you can use it on your own computer? Now, all you have to do is just click on the link in the description down below. You're gonna arrive on this page. Then you're gonna click here in Files and Versions. Scroll down until you see the wdv13 full.ckpt. You're gonna click on it, and then you're gonna click on Download. And this will download it on your own computer. Then, once you've downloaded it on your own computer, you can select it, press Ctrl X to cut it, go into your Stable Diffusion 2.0 folder, into Models, Stable Diffusion, and then Ctrl V to paste the model right here. And then, once you launch Stable Diffusion again, you're gonna come here in the Stable Diffusion checkpoint and select the Waifu Diffusion 1.3 model. You wait a little bit, and then it's ready to be used. Simple as that. Now let's say you want to use Dreambooth to train images of your own character, but you want to use the Waifu Diffusion 1.3 model as the base. How exactly do you do that? Well, this is actually very simple. So for this, all you have to do is just go into your Google Drive, take the Waifu Diffusion 1.3 model that we just downloaded, upload it into a Google Drive folder. Then once the model is uploaded, you're gonna right-click, click on Get Link, and change Restricted to anyone with the link. And then you're gonna click on Copy Link. Then you're gonna create a new Notepad document and copy the link right here. Then you will copy and paste this command that you will find in the description down below. You will paste it right here, and here you will select this ID right here, copy it, and paste it right here. And we will leave this command for later. Now we're gonna go on a website called runpod.io. If you don't have an account already, you can use my link in the description down below. And you're gonna select a GPU with at least 24 GB of VRAM. So for me, I'm gonna have to go into Community Cloud. I'm gonna choose this one, click on Select. Then you're gonna select the template and choose Runpod PyTorch. And here for content disk and volume disk, you're gonna input 60 GB for both. And then click on Continue. And then click on Deploy on Demand. Where would you like to go? You're gonna click on My Pods, click on this arrow right here, and wait until the pod is initialized, then click on Connect, and click on Connect to Jupyter Lab. Then you're gonna click on this button right here, copy and paste this command that you will find in the description down below, and then you're gonna run this cell. This will create a brand new folder called Dreambooth Stable Diffusion. You're gonna double click on it, and then you're gonna double click on Dreambooth Runpod Jopana. Then you're gonna come here and run the second cell, do not run the first one, only the second one. Click on this button right here, then wait until the cell is finished loading, and you will know it is done once you see a number here instead of the star. And there you go, as you can see right here, the cell is finished running. So now you're gonna scroll down, and here, instead of running these cells, you're gonna click on this button right here to insert a cell above, and then you're gonna take the command that was in our notepad, Ctrl C, to copy it, paste it right here, and then you're gonna run the cell. And what this will do is that it will basically download the Waifu Diffusion 1.3 model directly from your Google Drive. And it's gonna download it in this folder right here. Then, once the model is downloaded, you're gonna right-click on the model, click on Rename, and rename it into model.ckpt. Then you're gonna scroll down until you see the regularization images section, and here we're gonna simply download the pre-generated regularization images. And for this, we're simply gonna use the person_ddim. So just select this cell and click on Run. Then you're gonna scroll down, once it's done, into the Upload Your Training Images section, and here you're gonna upload your images into Imgur and replace every link with the link of your Imgur image, just as I did right here. And then once you're done, you're gonna run this cell. Then scroll down, select this cell, and click on Run. And as you can see here, it has downloaded all the images from Imgur. Now scroll down until the training section and replace the project name with the name that you want. In my case, I will simply call it Nami Anime Waifu. Change your max training steps to the amount of steps that you want to train for. Since I have 20 images, it will basically create 20 training steps, and in my experience, it is good enough. So actually, I'm just gonna replace 2000 by 2020. Class for person, indeed, this is the dataset images that we downloaded. And here for the token, you're gonna replace with the token that you're gonna use. I will simply call it Nami Anime. Then select the cell and run it. And this will begin the training. Then, once the training is complete, you're gonna scroll down into the checkpoint file and then click on run. And this will basically prune your checkpoint file into a smaller size. Then what you want to do is scroll down and select this line, click on new terminal, paste this line right here and press on enter. Then go back, select the second line, Ctrl C to copy it, Ctrl V to paste it and press enter. Then you will select this URL, copy it and paste it in your own browser. Then you're gonna select your Google Drive account, copy this verification code and paste it right here. Then press enter. And then you're gonna paste this line right here and press enter. And this will begin uploading the model into your own Google Drive account. And in the end, you should have a brand new folder called train_models. And if you right click on this file and click on download, this will download the model in your own computer. And then exactly as previously, don't forget to put that model into your Stable Diffusion folder. And then if you want to use that model in Stable Diffusion, you're gonna have to come here, Stable Diffusion checkpoint, select your model, wait for it to load, write your prompt, do not forget to use the token and the dataset name, select your parameters, and then click on generate. And here is the final result. And if you want to use this model, I will make it available for free in the description down below. Okay, so I just bought a subscription to NovelAi, and if you want to generate images, you need to go here to the image generation tab, and they say here that you need to make sure that you save any image generation and text prompts because it will be basically erased at the end of the session. So on the right side, you have basically 3 different AI models. The NI Diffusion Anime Curated, the NI Diffusion Anime Full, and the NI Diffusion Furry. So no offense to any of you that likes furry images, but I think I'm just gonna stick with the first 2 here. Here you have the image resolution, and you have different selection of image resolutions in portrait, landscape, square, small, large, custom. And of course, each time that you select an option, the amount of credit that you need to generate this image will probably increase or decrease. So for a portrait, it's 5 credits, but if I try a small square, for example, it's gonna change it to 3 credits. And the largest one is the square 1024 by 2024, is 14 credits. So basically the base $10 a month allows you to generate basically 71 images of large square dimension 1024 by 1024. But to be honest, I don't think it's really worth it, because if you choose simply the square one, you're simply gonna be using 3 credits instead of 14. And you can use an upscaler to upscale your image to something bigger than 1024, so I don't really understand why you would use and spend your credits on a large image. Then here you can choose the number of images that you want, up to 4 images at one time. Here you have the model specific settings and the undesired content that you can choose between low quality bad anatomy and low quality and none. This is basically probably the exact same as the negative prompt that you can find in the Super Stable Diffusion 2.0 installation, where you can input what you don't want to see in the final image. Then you have the add quality tags, which apparently increase quality of the final image. Then the steps, the scale, the seed, and the sampler. In this case right here, an image with 28 steps costs 5 credits, but if I choose to 50 steps, it's gonna ask me for 8 credits instead. But since we're using Euler Ancestral, actually 28 steps is not that bad. So what I'm gonna do is basically try to use the exact same prompt as I did with Waifu Diffusion and the exact same seed, to see if we get something similar to the image that we got using the normal Stable Diffusion installation. So there you go, this is my prompt with the seed, Euler Ancestral, 28 steps, and now I'm gonna click on generate. And this is the final result. Very impressive. And here you have multiple options, which is the edit image, a variation that is really super expensive, an enhance option, which is just basically an upscaler that is also very expensive. I don't know why you would use that if you already have an enhancer, an upscaler on your own computer that you can use for free, so I would probably suggest not to use that. The variations one is probably something close to DALL-E 2 that is create variations of the same images, but also is very expensive. And here you have basically an in-painting, so if I paint it right here, for example, and I want maybe like green eyes, I can click on save, And for example, if I ask for green eyes, so if you want to use the inpainting option, you have here the amount of strength that you can use and the amount of noise that you want. So I'm gonna put it to like 60 and click on generate. And this is the final result. Again, really super impressive. This is actually pretty good. These are actually pretty good anime eyes. Probably better than what you would get using Waifu Diffusion. So that's very impressive. Very good point for NovelAi. So what is the final conclusion here? Well, first of all, if you don't want to spend money, use Waifu Diffusion 1.3. It is the best free way to be able to generate beautiful anime images. If you have a little bit of money, you can pay for a NovelAi subscription service and pay around 5 cents per image if you take the $10 per month. And if you want to generate images of your custom character, I highly suggest that you use Dreambooth in combination of the Waifu Diffusion 1.3 version, just as I showed you in this video. And it will only cost you around 50 cents to do so. Again, as I said previously, the link to this board will be in the description down below, so you can definitely see and compare all the different models and all the different images and what kind of result you can expect. And there you have it, folks. Now you should be able to generate the best anime images using Stable Diffusion. This video took me a long time to make, so thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for supporting my work. You guys are awesome. That being said, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!